my first product generated 100,000 in the first year. So I was like, okay, there's something here.
I just got done with a chat with Mushfiq Sarker. This guy's a veteran in the space. You're going to enjoy our talk. He's flipped over 200 websites. He basically has a private equity firm that buys and sells sites. So if you're interested in the online space at all, this is an interesting chat. Enjoy it. Mushfiq, you doing all right today?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, we're live, man. Good. So I've run across you online for probably a few years now. Like we just crossed paths. I am in a Facebook group that you run. What's the name of that group?
The Website Flip Club, I believe.
The Website Flip Club. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm in that Facebook group. I think I heard you on the Niche Pursuits podcast is where I think I originally heard you. Really, really cool podcast to me because it's just people that are in the same space, right? Doing the same thing.
Right.
And so I think that's super cool.
That's awesome. That was 2019, my first podcast appearance. And that's when I launched one of my products, and Spencer, wanted to do a talk and then cover what the product was about, and did a live review of his site, owntheyard.com. Before he sold it, sorry. So Spencer's great. I love that podcast. I listened to that podcast since 2010. So honestly, that's one of the first, I think.
Got it. Yeah, I've heard that episode. So that must be the one where I learned your name and I was like, oh man, cool. This guy knows what he's doing. Yeah, and that's one of your products, right? Easy Wins. Like you still sell that product, right? Easywins.io.
Easywins.io. Yep, it still sells. I keep it up to date, and somehow people like it.
Dude, it is that. So that's such a brilliant product. I have a friend that's bought it. I haven't purchased it, but isn't it it's like an active, basically like a giant Airtable up to date on a spreadsheet? It seems simple, right? But it's the knowledge that people are paying for, right? Because you're adding to it, you keep it up to date, and if something changes, you can go in there and live change it. Man, like from me as a fellow online entrepreneur, I'm like, man, that's a brilliant product, and it's totally worth paying for, right? You can pay for someone's knowledge like in instant. Right. In instant like table, like format.
The way I was, because I can do consulting, I do, right? And I can do a live teardown or a report, which I still do, customized report. It runs about $500, $600 per site. Or, it's just, I am customizing my Easy Wins Airtable to your site. So you can just get access to all of it, 120 or so, and keep it for life. And train your VAs or your team to essentially, just like a checklist, just go through that after you make an acquisition or you build a site and you want to monetize it. Just go through that, apply the top ones that make sense. Definitely, guaranteed you will have an increase in revenue or your money back.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. No, I mean, that makes sense. Like someone could pay you and you can do it. Or you're like, hey, look, just buy this product and you go through it and then have your people go through it. And that makes total sense, man. Yeah. When I remember commenting on something on Facebook a few years ago, and I feel like you were in engineering and live in the Chicago area. Is that?
Yeah, I'm still in Chicago suburb, not in engineering anymore. Like no day job. This is what I do.
I remember you posting about that. Maybe you were saying that like you stopped that full-time job, but at the time that was like I guess a couple of years ago or a year ago or something. You were doing more, I feel like, with websites than most people I know that do it full time. And you were working engineering and like blowing and going with websites, right?
Yeah. It was, since 2008, I've been part-time buying, selling sites, growing them.
Okay.
2019 is when I launched my newsletter on all the sub one or two products in the Facebook groups and just getting active more. People used to kind of know me in the background, my name from 2008 to whenever, but I was never public. So 2019, I started on Substack, did all that. And then 2020, I left my job permanently, switch of career, essentially. And since then it's been great.
Well, based on what you're doing, man, you're basically like, you can't have a job doing what you're doing. You're basically like a private equity company now, man. You are, you are, right. You're essentially growing. And I want to talk about that with you because I've kind of watched what you're, just being affiliated in the groups and stuff. I'm like, man, I'm seeing you launch this new stuff. And I'm like, this is a cool trajectory, what you're doing in your business. But let me ask this. Did you have any plans for this, like at all when you started? Was there any grandmaster plan or are you like evolving as a business owner over time?
No, it was always evolving, right?
Yeah.
It's always mindset changes, you know. It's always the same formula that I like to apply. It's
Hmm.
just that it might be little changes on how I go about it. But I never had the vision that, okay, you know, this is gonna work out like this. Actually, in 2019, you know, launch it took off pretty quickly. I mean, my subscriber growth, my first product really generated Easy Win generated 100,000 in the first year. So I was like, okay, there's something here.
Yeah.
And I didn't like my day job. I worked,
Okay.
you know, engineering. I mean, I have a PhD, so it's kind of hard to leave your career when you spent so much time studying. I mean, I was studying until 26, right?
Yep.
I'm 33 now. So you spend a lot of time on that, and it's just, oh man, if it was just a bachelor's degree, which most people have in our industry at a bare minimum, you can leave it. But when you do a master's and a PhD, it's all, you know, you put your dedicate your life. And so it took me a while to figure out, okay, I don't like what I do. I like this website stuff, which I've been doing. You could probably say I have a PhD in business growth because I did
Yeah.
that in 2008 and I started my PhD in 2012. So really, I have dual PhDs. And if there is no degree for what we do, but technically
Exactly.
speaking, based on that number of hours, you know, to be an expert, you have to put what 10,000 hours. That's like the same.
Exactly.
I probably put 30,000 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, and that is what amazes me about everyone's story in this, like, in this arena, and that's why for me, like, in 2023, I'm like, I want to connect with at least 25 other people and just record conversations, because it's so interesting to me, because there's some common thread that we all have, because none of us went to school for this, what we're kind of doing now, right? It's, as far as I know,
Yeah.
not one person had a background in this and said, cool, this is my training. Everyone is at some point
Yeah.
found this industry along the way, and they're like, oh, this is cool, yeah, let me do this, let me, I guess, get started, whatever, and then has grown into something, whether it's like a number of websites, or like you, like flipping a ton of websites and then creating well, shoot, I mean actually, let's talk about it. So for you, it's flipping a bunch of websites.
Yeah.
Then I feel like you created a product, like, oh cool, well, here's what I do, and other
Yeah.
people are buying it. And then you have, what is the deal feed, is it dealfeed.io, where you're basically like aggregating sites that are for
Yeah.
sale?
Yeah. I mean, to your point, you know, I don't want to talk too much about my products. Let's just talk about, you know,
Well, but no, but here's the thing. It's
I don't
not
want to
pitch.
just,
It's
you
not
know,
pitching your products. But to me, this is shop, because for me as a business owner, this is what this is what I plan to do. Right. I intend to put out more educational products. I intend to evolve my business, and so to me, and probably others, like, this is, it kind of is shop. Just kind of talking about what you're doing, or what you've
yeah, no
done.
worries, no worries. So yeah, I think on the first point, you know, none of us ever came from a background in growing sites, but it's those technical skills that we've developed. Some people have a business background, some people have economics, a lot of people I know have an engineering background, and with me, it was always the ability to do research, the ability to dig deep, the ability to really study something, and that's why I enjoy buying businesses because due diligence. That is really my expertise. Somebody can put a business for sale up. I can really break it down into why this will work or why this won't work or the red flags or anything. And that's what has actually helped the website Flip grow because initially, weekly, I would put out a newsletter breaking down why this is a good thing, the red flags. What is it really worth? Is there any red flags here that, oh, the seller isn't disclosing that it does take him every seller says, "Oh, it takes me 3 hours a week." It's really
Right.
20 hours a week for
Sure.
him. And why is that, right? There's a lot of things. And so that's really what propelled the growth. So I think there's a transfer of skills. You know, one skill that I am building now as I'm growing and I realize that I can't do everything by myself is team building, partnerships, hiring people. It's something that my background is a solo in our industry. It's called, you know, independent developer or independent consultant. You just work on your own as a PhD or a researcher. You don't work with people. You don't have anyone under you, and you don't really have anyone above you. You just do your thing, and once you have something, it turns into a product or a business that I don't even follow through. That was like my role in startups or in my research community. So it's a very independent thing. And now I'm coming into this world where I realize, okay, you know, I can stay as is like this, making whatever I'm making, and it's a good life. But I want to do more, and so I need to do partnerships. I need to structure deals. I need to hire the right people, fire people fast. It's so much harder.
Yeah, man. There's a lot. What has been okay? Let me actually find. Hold on. Let me grab these notes because this is kind of interesting. I apparently in Trello I made some notes from something you said, and I guess maybe on a podcast. Hold on. Let me try to pull it up.
Sure.
So it looks like I added this February 19th, 2022. So that's like a year ago. I don't know if that was on the podcast, but this is basically notes from you about building a team. So basically said, anytime I've got 5 active sites I'm working on, I'm in escrow now to sell a site for 175K. I just bought one for 33K. I'm always replenishing. So that was you, I guess, like a year ago, kind of how you were working.
Yep.
And you said my team consists of the following. You're like me. You're saying you're like basically strategists, acquisitions, operations, growth specialists whose job was to implement different strategies, landing pages, testing. An SEO specialist who helps you do keyword research, audits, internal linking, VAs for formatting, posts, adding images, and then writers, like various freelance specialists. Right. And then I have this note of 6 website operators. If I decide to keep a site in my portfolio, I source and hire a dedicated operator. Yep. How different do you look today from like looking back at that? That's like a year ago. Like what is your structure look like today compared to that?
Yeah, very similar. The only difference is that I have transitioned from paying people by the job or the hour to salary. Now I have enough cash flow, enough assets where I can just hire people with whatever they need to survive, and then also give people equity in their ownership, right, in whatever I'm working on. Or even if I'm not giving equity, kind of a bonus structure where they feel good. For example, the website Flip now, it's a machine, right? There's a weekly newsletter. We have to source deals. I look at them. My team looks at them. We look at 10. We pick 1 or 2 that look good. We look at age domains. We look at GoDaddy auctions for age domains. I mean, there's 4 people behind the scenes, and I'm the face of it, right?
Yep.
All through 2021, 2022, I used to do that and all of it. Now, realizing that I need to hire people, but with the quality in mind. So I haven't just hired random virtual assistants and just trained them up, because this is not something you just can be trained with SOPs. There's some expertise involved. Yeah. So what I do, I went and hired people at my competitors, and competitors, saying not direct competitors because there isn't a direct competitor, but I went to the brokerages and hired their investment or their due diligence experts. So I hired the head of due diligence at Investors Club. Now he works full time for me. So that person looks at hundreds of deals a month. So it's a perfect position for him to do it on an unbiased basis. It's because, when you're a brokerage, you are representing a seller. So there is some, biasness just naturally. It's not like any broker wants to do that, but there is. Yep. But with me, I'm an independent, industry independent, right? I don't care which brokerage. I will call any brokerage out if they're doing bad practices or whatever, anybody who's doing bad practices. And so now he enjoys working with me, right? Simultaneously, I like the way I kind of structured it with him is I gave him a salary that he needs to survive, or, whatever he was getting paid before, a little bit higher than that. And then also said, okay, you get yearly bonuses, right? If I do well, you do well, right? And that's our structure. I'm not really giving equity. I am starting to give equity. It's just I don't want to give equity in my holding company, the website Flip, because there's a lot of things involved. But individual things I'm working on, I'm happy to figure out a operator for that who does the day-to-day, whereas I just work on the strategy and growth.
I've seen you post about kind of like equity or bonus structure and stuff, which is kind of like, I feel like it's not very typical in our industry, but I think it's really smart to do. And honestly, like for me, like my newest project that I launched that I think will take a long time to grow, but I think it'll be potentially could be one of our biggest. I've told my whole team that I'm like, hey, I'm going to take a portion of the equity. Now I'm not doing it and I was going to ask you this. Do you do it in an actual structure, like actual equity in the LLC? I'm not doing that with my people, but I'm basically verbally telling them, hey, like a portion of proceeds, I'm going to split this up amongst you guys. And I don't know.
I can give some examples. I think that might help. Sure. So I bought a site. It was only about $8,000-$10,000. It's in the real estate niche. I kind of buy things randomly. That's something I need to fix.
I know you're always trying to sell them. You're always trying to sell stuff, man, because you buy them.
We can talk about. I buy them because I get off-market deals, and they might be at really good multiples. And don't really have the time to think about it. And I don't like to ask sellers, hey, give me a week to look into this. I think
Yeah.
that's unfair because when I sell something, I hate it when somebody tells me I'm going to take my time or I'm not going to respond. So, anyways, I like to practice what I preach.
Fair enough.
And so I just make an offer. If they accept, they accept. It's usually lower than a brokerage offer, right? I'm not going to compete with them, right? Anybody can make more money with the brokerages. I'm just here to give you a quick transaction. And so I get a lot of these very low multiple quality sites usually. So I bought one in the real estate niche. Now I also have real estate properties. So I thought, okay, this might make sense that I can start another newsletter or another website in this space doing similar what the website Flip is doing, but for real estate deals. Turns out it's, not, after holding it for a month or two, okay, I'm not really that interested in this. It's a lot of work. So I had one writer in my team, very talented guy. He wrote for Niche Pursuits. He wrote for the website Flip. He's just a full-time writer. And I offered him, hey, I'll give you 30%. You handle all content production on this site. I will handle conversion optimization, figuring out monetization and all that. So he charges 10 cents a word. So if I hired him, and need the production, it could be multiple thousands of dollars a month of content. And he was happy to just he knows my background. That helps, right? Knowing that I know. I mean, when I get involved, we can grow something. We can use SEO, whatever tactics to grow something and then exit, right? So he's happy to forego his rates or money up front for the future potential. So 30% on that deal, right? So that's one.
Yep.
And another one, and then we can discuss just not yesterday, maybe over the weekend. This is late January now. So messaged me on Twitter saying they have a 2-site package in a niche, and I said, okay, give me the traffic numbers. Oh, it's getting good traffic. Last month got 50K, now it has 85K. I was like, okay, this is a great candidate because it's growing. And I told him, look, I'm not going to pay the typical multiples. And he needed cash quickly. So this is something that's really worked for me. People who just need something quickly, maybe they want to transition, buy something else. This individual wanted to buy real estate, so he needed money. I bought it at 17x multiple, which the going rates now is like 40x, 35. It's a half, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Then, I slept on it. We did the deal, and I realized, okay, I bought this as cheap. I can flip it, right? But has a good growth trajectory. And the way this guy has managed it, he's hired a lot of good writers, has a whole content production process kind of optimized. So I said, I'll give you 20%. You manage the whole thing for me. I am just here to give you advice. And then we will grow it for 6 to 9 months, maybe 12 months, and then we'll sell it. And so he got his payout and he got his 20% equity. So he's, hopefully this hasn't really materialized, but hopefully he's happy. So yeah, these are the things I kind of do now, realizing that I can keep adding sites to my portfolio, but the website Flip and all these other things take up 80% of my time. And so I need to figure out ways to bring people on. And usually it's the sellers. They're willing to stay on most of the time. It's just that they need a cash infusion for whatever they're doing, but they don't really want to exit the whole. They'll keep building sites, so might as well work on something they've been building up and then rely on me to get that growth, and then we can have a higher exit than they would have done by themselves, right?
Super smart, man, like really smart strategic deals. So, and for you realize, hey, I only have so much bandwidth. Yeah, you could buy sites and put them through your regular process, but you only have so much bandwidth. So for you to have a partner that can take part of that load, they already knows what they're doing, right? They already have a process. It's so smart. And the other thing that's kind of interesting, I remember, I think it was an article or something you posted, something about you were comparing. This is me a couple of years ago when I was just getting kind of really going in building my brand or just starting to build my brand. It was an article comparing real estate to websites, basically comparing websites to real estate.
Yeah.
And I read that and I was like, holy smokes, it's so accurate. Buying some bare bones of a website, basically putting energy and effort into it. And everything you just described is very real estate related, right? As well. So a seller coming to you, so real estate license, I have a broker's license and I actually do real estate still. And so maybe it's just the way my brain works, thinking actually about that industry, but it's all related. So you doing a deal like that is very similar to the wholesale real estate investor. A seller needs to sell a property. They want to sell it fast. They don't want to go the traditional route and list it with a real estate agent. So they come to someone that's got cash and they're like, hey man, yeah, cool. I'm going to buy it at a discount, but I'll buy it. I'll do it really fast. It's a fast buyer. And then that buyer can turn around and flip it. You can turn around and do a JV deal, like a joint venture deal with someone. Did you already have all of that knowledge? Did you get any of that knowledge from the real estate industry, or is it?
So no, when I did real estate, I didn't do partnerships.
Okay.
I think it's very. I can do a partnership in the website world with a handshake agreement and just gentleman's agreement, and just based on that, I have more to lose than whoever I'm partnering with. So I'm not gonna screw somebody over, right?
Exactly.
But in real estate, you gotta have all these agreements, LLCs, and bank. And there's too much involved, and the returns are not worth it, in my opinion, today. But the structuring and all of this, I actually learned this from Jackie Chu, who's active on Twitter. He has a podcast as well.
Is that Indexy? Indexy?
Yeah, Indexy.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Jackie, good friends. We just talk this kind of stuff, and he's the one who always offers, since way before I did, whenever he buys sites, just offers the seller manage it for me, right? Yeah, I'll give you whatever, he reduces the multiple. So if it's a 35x, he gives, okay, also give it to me for 27x and I'll give you 20% equity, right? And we manage the whole thing, and the sellers are happy to do that. So I learned that from him. So no, I didn't come up with any of these unique
stories. Don't you feel like that reduces risk in the purchase as well? Because if that seller, all right, so I guess in my opinion, and I could be wrong, but if that seller was like, absolutely not, I'm absolutely not interested in that, I would actually raise my eyebrows a little bit more and be like, maybe I should do even further due diligence or whatever. But I feel like if they're willing to do that, they're comfortable with that. They're comfortable with the site itself and the process and all that. What are your thoughts there?
You're not wrong.
Okay.
But there's other reasons.
Yeah.
I do due diligence regardless of if they accept or not. Yeah. So the thing, some sellers just don't like the topic anymore.
That makes sense. Yeah,
they're like, it's not nefarious in any always. Obviously but in my due diligence, I would have caught any of the red flags before we even get to the discussion of equity.
Gotcha. So maybe they're just burnt out and they're like, no, man, I'm done. If you don't mind, I'd rather just sell it to you.
Yeah. And look,
and be out of here.
I preach buying and selling. So I don't even ask the seller why you're selling. I might ask them just at a later stage, but everybody wants to cash out. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Totally makes sense. Man, so something you said earlier, I made a note of this, and it's actually something I was going to bring up. I love it. You are not on Twitter. You will say exactly what you think about big brands like Ahrefs. You've been like, hey man, this is down. This is trash. You got to fix this. Ezoic, you will call out Ezoic. I don't think you're a huge fan, and you've had some conversations with brokerages too about them not being, I guess, being honest about who they're actually representing and what your opinion is of that. I guess I was going to give you props for that. I think it's pretty cool that you just kind of, you just tell it like it is. You're like, nah, man, this is what I think.
Yeah, I probably need to calm down a bit because I do go probably a little overboard. And look, it's always that somebody has to. So before, I'm not going to say I'm that brand, but in the buying selling space where you're transacting on a lot of money, right? This is not, so I purposely chose this kind of middle ground, which is there's a lot of people teaching people how to build sites. You have Authority Hackers, Affiliate Lab, all these things, beginners, right? The courses and human income, whatever income school,
yeah.
Right. I'm not competing with them. I honestly can't. They have done a very good job. So I'm in the factor of portfolios, right? Kind of built a site up, you sold one, maybe now you want to keep doing this, and there was no education nor newsletter or anything for that middle ground. There's always at the other side, which is when you want to sell. There's Empire Flippers newsletter, which is great. Every brokerage has a newsletter. Nothing in the middle. So I wanted to kind of get there, and then in the middle is where a lot of the money is. Right now, you sold a site for $50K. Now you want to take that $50K and buy a couple of sites. Now you're getting into portfolio building. You have to figure out your ad network that you really want to partner with. There's a lot more money in the middle, a lot more, and people's net worths are kind of tied in that middle. And so I see myself as the unbiased kind of person or brand who can call people out without any repercussion, but no one can do anything to me, right? I mean, I have my independent. I'm not tied to anybody. I'll call out a brokerage. I will promote a brokerage that I think is very good, I'll call out Ezoic, I'll call out whoever in support that nobody else, because little guys can't do that because they're just starting their business up. If they piss off Ezoic, they'll cancel their account, right? And then people who have portfolio of sites, right? If they say something against it, I mean, their living is on tied to an ad network or an affiliate network. So it's very hard for them to say anything. My living is not tied to any affiliate or ad network. Even if I lose my Ezoic account, which I have zero, I don't generate revenue. I've kind of moved away. I don't care. It's okay, right? So I think somebody needs to call these people out. Otherwise, a lot of scams can happen, or nefarious practices, or weird structures that people do.
You're like speaking out for the little guy. That's pretty cool, actually. When you think about that you're not. I mean, not that you're doing it for the little guy, but you don't have anything to lose, like the little guy might. So you're comfortable. You're comfortable with speaking out.
Yeah, and it's fun.
The truth comes out. Of course, it's fun. Yeah. Of course, yeah. And that for Ezoic specifically, is that I feel like the CEO is pretty active on Twitter, and is that the actual am I correct? I feel like he hops in conversations a lot. I know the marketing CFO is pretty active from Ezoic, but I feel like the CEO or something like hops in there in some conversations too.
They're very active. I don't want to really get into the Ezoic situations. I'll keep that to social, but they're very active. I mean, look, I like Ezoic. I'm not going to complain. I like Ezoic because they allow little sites to make money. There's nothing wrong with that. I've used them. I will probably and continue to use them for sites with 50,000 page views or less. Look, I'm not saying I'm not a fan of Ezoic. It's just some little things I've had issues personally with their premium programs, and that's what I call out. I'm not calling out that Ezoic is bad. I'm just saying that there's some specific things that I don't like. And no, it's not just me. There's a lot of people that don't like that stuff.
Yeah, of course. Man, so something you did, it's kind of funny. Before we hopped on the call, I was like, oh yeah, I saw this tweet because you have a potential newsletter course coming out. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I'll hop on there and buy it. And then I realized, I think you're done. I think you got your 50 pre-sales of your, I guess, right? Was it 50 that you wanted?
50, yeah.
Maybe you can open up one for me, man. Maybe I can be 51 or something. But one that's brilliant. Have you done that with every course, or is that something you just started doing, the pre-sale idea?
No, so mostly I have built first.
Yeah. Okay.
Later, and I thought this one. So then that was because I built first because there was a lack of confidence that if I pre-sell, it doesn't work. It's kind of like it's my ego, my personal. I'll get hurt, and it looks bad, right? And so I've always built. I have an age domain course, a website flipping course, easy wins, easy diligence, a lot of these digital products that I've always built and sold. I've given hints that I'm building this, but I never collected money first, right?
Yeah.
With this, it was a course that my community asked. Like, I did a review of a deal in my newsletter, and somebody in a chat asked me, hey, this is really, are there any courses out there talking about how to take niche site traffic, build a newsletter, and essentially a moat around your business? And look, I've done 4 of those now on different niches. So is there any course like that? Yes, there's courses on email marketing, plenty of. Matt Giovannisci on Lab has a very good digital email marketing course. Now, I'm not saying that can't be translated to newsletter. Newsletter is very, very different than email marketing. Email marketing is sequence-based. Give 3 emails of value, 1 email selling something, and it's just that continuous process. Newsletters is really, it's just information all in your inbox, and you can monetize with ads or whatever. It's a very different model. And so, I've only built newsletters. I'm not really an email marketing expert. So I thought, okay, there is no course on building a niche newsletter. So I said, okay, I'll put one together. But because I have so many other things going on, I need to know there's demand for it. And people are willing to pay up front at a discounted rate. And I can collect the money that will justify my time in putting it together. So that was the real. And I think I will continue doing that from now on, because otherwise, I don't know, right? I mean, yes, most people will buy what I sell, but it's good to have the validation up front that I can justify putting in the week or 2 weeks is going to take me to build that out.
It also rewards people kind of at a gives them a discount for raising their hand and saying, "Hey, I'll buy." You know, it shows me your community's trust in you, because on your page I read it. It was literally like, "Hey, if I don't sell enough, I'll refund your money." You know, people obviously have to trust that you're going to do that as a business. I mean, there's that. Another thought I'd say, even if there's like a dozen courses like this out there, there's not your course in the way that you do it, and it's totally cool if there's both a Harvard and a Yale, right? I mean, there's, you know, whatever. There's all these school. I'm all about, man, the more options the better. Like for me personally, man, just part of my personal thing is like disrupting traditional education however we can. That's just like a little piece of
Sure.
little fingers I try to poke, and I'm like, man, as many people that are doing that, I'm all about it.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
which I think is cool. So yeah, so it's like your business is ever evolving, right? All of ours are. Like the fact that you did the pre-sale for this course, and you'll probably do that going forward, because it makes sense, right? It just pre-proves
And
the course idea.
honestly, I had no intention of launching any more courses. I
Oh, really?
brainstormed other things I could do.
Yeah.
Really, it always came under the umbrella of website flipping or age domains, and I could just add a video to that or a series of
Yeah.
videos to that to enhance that course. So there was no ideas that came to my own brain of, okay, this is a course you could start, right? Because again, I don't want to cater to the beginner. So I don't want to make a course on how to build a niche site. Like if
Right.
I always refer people to authority hackers. Yes, I get
Gotcha.
a commission kickback, and I know those guys have done an amazing job, and I can stand by that course. So I don't want to replicate that. So
Yeah.
like, what there was nothing came to me like, oh, maybe I should build this course or something. It just always comes back to, okay, there's something better out there that I recommend. And so when somebody came to me and in a community said, oh, newsletters for niche sites, okay, that's a very sub thing. There's not going to be hundreds of thousands of people using it. Maybe, 2 people will buy it in the lifetime of that course, and that's good enough, right? It will
Yep.
only take me maybe 20 25 hours, and I don't really do post-production or anything. I'm just slides, I'm just talking through it, right? There's no editing, nothing. Whatever comes out comes out.
Rough
So
cut.
it's very,
Rough cut course.
very
Yeah.
easy for me to put one together, but maybe like a couple days of really heads down work. So yeah, I mean, and a lot of value in it.
I think it's great, man. For sure. Question: are there any tools that you use that you feel like you can't live without? Just curious.
Good question. Yeah, all the Google suites, obviously, of products.
All right.
Slack is where we communicate a lot. Messenger, lot of deals happen through that.
Yeah.
Twitter messages, a lot of new connections happen through that, whereas Facebook is mostly old connections. Trello used to be my management content processes and all that, but we recently switched over to more Google Sheets.
Really? Why the switch from Trello to Google Sheets?
For example, you mentioned I sold a site for 175,000 last February, and I went on Spencer's podcast to talk about that. That was one site that was my honestly last site that I sold in February 22, where I was very, very actively working on it, where I was hiring writers myself, doing the keyword research, doing the content plans, outlines, everything. And so Trello was very active. So I had all my writers in there, a writer board, I had a strategy board, all of that. And then I sold that, and I realized, okay, that is not the best use of my time. I'm more that it's better for me to hire a website manager, an overall person to manage all my websites individually, and they can do whatever they want. If they want to use Trello, good. If they
Got it.
So I've kind of stepped away from that. So it's not that Trello is bad. It's just that I'm not actively doing that anymore.
Got it. You didn't force the person into your process. You allowed them to have the process that works for them.
Yeah, I shared my Trello stuff. Some of them are using it. They're smart enough to do whatever process they want.
Sure. Yeah, cool. Is Twitter are Twitter DMs and Facebook, is that like for you literally the same as someone texting you or emailing you? Like for me, it is. It's all the same. Like all the communication is literally the same.
Yeah, I don't want anybody with my personal phone number.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, a text for me would be a pretty bad way, because I guess SMS, the actual tech, whatever, you can't like mark it as unread if you're an Android user like me, if you're not iPhone or whatever. And all my Apple friends make fun of me for that. I refuse to be. I'm always I'm the one dot that's not whatever green or something. I'm like the one blue dot in all their text message chains. Okay, and let me ask you this too. Twitter, and have you been on Twitter for a long time?
I think it says
What'd you say?
20.
Okay.
20. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I've had a Twitter account for a long time. It's only like the past year though that I've been like, man, this is a really useful this is a really useful feed of information, and you can find your crew. I mean, you don't even have to be there to post. You can just really find a great source of information, and
Yeah.
you can comment if you want to or whatever. It's neat. It's probably my little secret of 2022. I'd say it's just been a great source of information.
No, I love it. I don't like to post a lot, like threads, put a lot of time. I used to, but realized that doesn't really work that well. So it's just now just randomly sharing interesting things like 17x multiple deal with an operator. I post that and say, ask me anything. That gets in naturally a lot of engagement.
Yeah.
Or I do a partnership and I say the structure and the numbers, and people like that. Or I sell a site, kind of updates on what's actively going on. And I feel more people engage with that than putting together threads like how to do keyword research for your niche site. Nothing wrong with that, but I think there's a lot of that
Sure.
anyways out there, but there's less of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
the stuff you're saying is just like active business stuff versus like kind of some tactical like things or learning or education or whatever.
There's a lot of people on Twitter that are more high end, right? They're buying $1 million, several $1 million businesses. That doesn't pertain to us, right? Even though my max purchase price is 50,000 still, right? And the reason for that is even though I could afford more, it's risk management, and also it's very easy to take something that's 20K to 200K than it is to take something from, let's say, 400K to $1 million. It's a different skill set.
Yeah.
It requires a lot more hiring, a lot more involvement. Whereas something at 20K is probably a niche site making $500 a month. It's easy to take that to $2,000-$3,000 a month, right? And we see multiple examples of that happening. But you don't see something going from 20K to 100K just by sitting there and doing keyword research. It's a completely different thing you got to do then.
Yeah. But that's you actually being really, really smart, actually really like staying in your lane and knowing what has the greatest move without having to adjust like business models completely. Really, you can like put it in the lane. So are you still operating all the sites as normal, except it's just not you? You have people, either partners or project manager, that's kind of running sites?
I have my own portfolio of sites, but I have hired people now that help a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not doing keyword research anymore. I am not hiring writers anymore. I am overseeing everything and ensuring quality. I do get in there sometimes and do some CRO, add some, elements that's going to increase revenues, but I immediately just do that and then tell my guy to do it in the future. The reason with that is I can do something much quicker than I can explain it many times. So I'd rather just do it, see it, the results, and then just hand it off. So I use a lot of Loom as a tool, Loom video recording. All my courses are Loom video.
Really?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's how I put together instructions and hand it off. Yeah.
Loom's a great tool, press and play, right? Like it's so great for giving feedback to people and stuff. Yeah, we use Loom a good bit as well. Man, just the tools that are here are crazy.
Oh yeah.
And for you giving up keyword research and hiring writers, was it hard for you to get keyword research is a tough one? No.
It was hard. It was hard.
Oh, okay.
I had to find somebody who has the same philosophy on keyword research and processes.
Yeah.
I'm more of a, you can spend a lot of time doing keyword research and figuring out the very, very long tails, right? And targeting those. I'm more of, okay, I know this will be successful. I optimize for an exit. So here's something that a lot of people don't do. And once you get into that mindset, it changes. Some people say, okay, I need to bring cash flow in, so revenue from ads, affiliate, whatever. And then I'm going to reinvest that amount back in. And if it doesn't make, it's going to come out of my pocket, but I don't have that much money. So, that's fine, right? That's how you get started. You got to start somewhere. But for me, I know that if I take something from $500 to $5,000 a month, that's 250K on the back end when I sell it. So I know that. I know my skill set. So I'm willing to invest. I'm willing to forego all the cash flow and invest, double the cash flow potential. If I'm making 500, I can put $2,000 in a month because I know that if I get it to 5K revenue, it's worth that much. I'll recoup my money anyways, right?
Yeah.
And so that's when you're building a portfolio, and you're competing with me in a niche, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but it's more difficult, right? Because I'm willing to put 30K, 50K today versus over 3 years, right? So, which another niche site builder might do.
Really interesting point that you bring up, because I've had that conversation with some people, and it's even if you have the funds to do that, it's harder for people to pull that trigger
Yeah.
and just know. I feel like you have some of the experience of having done so many, that you just have so much faith in the process and like in your abilities. And hey, I'm following this routine that I know. So it's a really cool point that you bring up, which actually makes me want to ask, what like AI, Chat GPT tools and stuff. I know, man. I got to bring it up. What are your just thoughts in general, or philosophies, or whatever?
It's going to disrupt something. I don't have any thoughts on what
Okay.
and how and when. I personally don't use any of the tools, even from Surfer SEO days when a lot of people were using those to optimize. That's a sort of an AI.
Yep.
I don't use those. I've never used those to optimize any articles. I've never used any of the AI tool, Jarvis, ChatGPT. I only opened it once, and now when I open it, I can't even. It's too I can't even get access because it says.
Yeah. Sorry, we're busy. We're busy right now. Yeah.
So no, I don't use AI in my processes. Is that wrong? I don't know. And my thought is that in the future, it's going to come down to more expertise content. So this is what I said in another podcast that hasn't gone live yet. But the days of how many calories are in a piece of chocolate are gone.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Can't rank for that anymore. But can I eat a piece of chocolate in my keto diet? Now that can't be answered without a nutritionist or some specialty, right?
Yeah.
As an example. So, and that's what I've always done since the day one. I have never wrote content that's long tail and as it can be answered in one or two sentences, even though I can rank for it. I mean, I might, for my portfolio of sites, I've never done that. It's always been enter a niche where it requires a certain level of expertise. So real estate. I have some sites in the dating relationship niche where you can't just, those cannot be answered in one-liners, right? And so I'm willing to pay more for expert writers. For example, we sold a acne site, and I was paying 15 cents a word to register dietary nutritionists, right? And that's crazy. where the average is like 5 to 7 cents a word. So yeah, in short, it's going to come down to that, and it's going to come down to more of, okay, how do you take the existing visitors? Because everybody's going. Let's say that Chat GPT and all these things get integrated search engine. We're gonna overall net traffic to all of our sites is going to decrease. In general,
Sure.
All of my sites, some of my sites will have decreases, obviously, just over across the board. And so how can you take more advantage of the existing traffic that comes to your site, right? And that could be through conversion optimization, easy wins, newsletters, communities, groups, those things. We can get recurring users. And so that's always my focus, and it has been for the past 5 years. So my thesis hasn't changed.
Yep. Which is basically building a brand. I mean, is everything you're saying is like building an actual business with an actual brand, like not just a one trick pony kind of thing, right?
Yeah. 100%.
No. Yeah. That makes total sense. So it's not part of your process. Do you think any of your, like, the writers are using their own, whatever they're using to create whatever they're creating? And I mean, I don't know. And maybe it doesn't bother you. It's an interesting world that we're in, I guess.
Yeah. I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah.
Like, if a writer comes to me and submits an article, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, this is a great article. Like, it's perfect. It's accurate. It's correct. It reads well. Like,
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't care what you use to supplement, because look.
Yep.
Microsoft Word, spell check. These are all AIs.
All AI, exactly.
All AI. There's a computer behind figuring out what mistake you're going to make and the proper way to say that sentence, right?
Yep.
All AI. So if somebody's just using a tool to find some information, I'm assuming it is correct, right? And they have the niche knowledge where they know that is incorrect or that is correct. That's what I'm saying. I'm hiring people who have the niche knowledge where even if they use the AI, they can get an idea of what to say, but then they can correct that idea because they have internal, knowledge of that niche. So I'm okay.
Exactly.
I honestly don't care.
Yeah.
And hopefully, those dietary nutritionists that were hiring for 15 cents realize the value of AI as a research tool and can then reduce their rates to 11 cents because it takes, or 10 cents because it takes less work, right? That's as an
Yeah.
industry benefit.
I definitely wanted to ask you pointed questions as if we're having a coffee and meeting.
No, this is good because most appearances that I do are kind of not really scripted, but they're always like my life story, not like my day to day, what's
Yeah.
going on today, right? It's
Man,
all what
that's
happened in the past.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like that's kind of my goal. I mean, obviously, I want to get to know people. I want to make like real connections. But I'm like, man, I want to chat with people that are in the trenches doing this stuff, that are growing businesses. I'm like, well, like what do I want to know, right? Let's just network about what we're doing. So that's kind
Yeah,
of my theory. So,
it's a good idea.
well, so if people did want to link up with you, should they find you on Twitter or what? What do you think?
Yeah, Twitter, or the website Flip contact forms. But yeah, that's the only way.
Perfect. Yeah, the
Okay.
website flip.com or Twitter. Who do you think I should link up with in
Yeah.
this industry that you think I'd have a fun chat with? Does anyone come to
Indexy,
mind?
Jackie at Indexy.
Jackie?
So if you think, I'm doing cool stuff, he's doing much better stuff. So definitely talk to him. Yeah, honestly, as a
Right.
like somebody who's public, that's somebody you should talk to. I mean,
Got
the
it.
obvious ones are always there, right? But
Yeah. Yeah.
not all those guys. But
I know that for every public person, there's probably like 10 private people that don't have anything public. I don't know what those ratios are. Like, do you have
it's
any idea?
100 to 1. I mean,
100 to 1. Yeah, that makes sense.
my Facebook group has not many people, 1,800 members, right?
Yeah.
That joined on their own, and 99% of those people are private.
Yeah.
They don't even, some use fake names. Nothing wrong with that. It's okay. They don't like to post in the group because our industry is known copycats, let's say.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
message me privately and they're doing some really cool stuff. I can't even, no, they don't want to talk
Yeah.
publicly because
Yeah.
they're busy building, and that's fine, right?
Yep.
And so that's why my list of people I can recommend is like one guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
it's more-
I totally get that, and it makes sense actually that either one, and also the nature of website building itself is kind of a lone wolf sport. So people are probably a bit more private, maybe introverted anyway, like personality wise. So
Yes.
it's a lot of variables. I think that plus, like you said, the big dogs doing cool stuff. Most of them are just they're building, so they're not like out having chats and connecting over what I consider like a virtual coffee.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
but
Exactly.
well, man, I've enjoyed connecting. I know you got to roll.
Awesome. No, that was great. Thank you so much. Let's do it again in the future.
All right, Mushfiq. All right, sounds good, man. Take care. Talk to you soon.